What's up guys, Josh Blunt here and welcome to my channel. Thank you for taking time out of your day to watch this video. Many of us have questions on which supplements that we should be taking and which ones that we should be avoiding, and for good reason. There's a lot of different advice out there on different supplements and which ones are effective and which ones you're just wasting your money on. But the thing is, there's only a handful of actual supplements that are backed by science and proven to be successful long term. One of those supplements in particular we're going to be talking about today, and that is creatine. So in this video, I'm going to be going over a handful of things, including the benefits of creatine, how you should use it around your training, how much to use, what kind to use, among many other things. So with that being said, let's dive in. One thing to know about creatine is that it is a natural supplement. Now, if you're adding a bunch of extra stuff into the creatine, then obviously it becomes less natural and you're just wasting your money anyways. But creatine itself is created in the body naturally. Your kidneys, your liver, your pancreas are all going to create creatine for your muscles. It is also found in meat, red meat in particular. So by supplementing with creatine or just eating a ton of extra red meat, you're essentially just increasing the amount of creatine that's already found in the muscles. That is the idea. Now, let's talk benefits. Number one, creatine helps increase intense exercise by producing more ATP. ATP is your cell's energy source. It's your stamina. When you do intense exercise, your body uses this up, then it's replenished during the rest period so that you can continue on to the next set. When you're supplementing with creatine, creatine can be converted into more ATP faster than your body can replenish it. Therefore, it can give you more energy during your working sets before you burn out. Therefore, the more effort you put into your working sets, the greater your results during that workout. That's why many athletes, especially college athletes, will supplement with creatine. Number two, creatine helps your muscles retain water. Water is obviously an essential part of training. By keeping your body and your muscles hydrated, this will help you perform better in the gym. Remember, water helps circulate the blood, which carries the essential nutrients that your body needs to survive. Number three, it is safe and effective. Creatine has shown to increase the hormone IGF-1 or insulin-like growth factor, which is needed for muscle growth. One study by the International Society of Sports Nutrition states that CM, or creatine monohydrate, remains one of the most extensively studied as well as effective nutritional aids available to athletes. Hundreds of studies have shown the effectiveness of CM supplementation in improving anaerobic capacity, strength, and lean body mass in conjunction with training. Now keep in mind, creatine is not supposed to make up for a lack of effort or a lack of training in the gym. Creatine can definitely be very beneficial and shows its truest benefits when you're willing to put in the time and willing to put in the effort in the gym. With that being said, creatine is very effective, has proven to be effective, and can definitely make an impact on your workouts. Alright, let's move on. How to use creatine for training. The good thing about creatine is it pretty much enhances any kind of training. If you are looking for strength, taking creatine has shown to increase muscular strength. One study by PubMed states that a large number of studies have been published on creatine supplementation over the last decade. Many studies showed that creatine supplementation in conjunction with resistance training augments gains in muscle strength and size. And if you're looking for endurance, like I've said before, many athletes use creatine to increase their endurance during training. Another study by PubMed states that it is suggested that muscle glycogen loading capacity, glycogen is your energy storage, is influenced by its initial levels of creatine and the accompanying alterations in cell volume. Now, even though creatine is more commonly used for strength training, remember, creatine can be converted into ATP, which is your cell's energy source. It's converted much faster than it's replenished by your own body, which can be used during your training. Again, creatine is only going to be effective if you're actually working out. It's not going to increase your size, it's not going to increase your stamina by itself, but it will enhance your own efforts in the gym. Alright, next up, how much creatine should you take and which kind? So essentially, you want to go through a loading phase at first, where you're basically saturating the muscles with creatine as quick as possible. After that, you can reduce the amount of creatine that you're taking on a day-to-day basis and continue on. This is going to be the most effective approach. The loading phase itself should only be about 5 to 7 days, and you'll want to take about 20 grams of creatine a day to load up the muscles. After that, 3 to 5 grams a day is plenty to keep your muscles saturated. I usually take about 5 grams a day after the loading phase, especially on days that I'm in the gym. Now, if you're not comfortable with taking 20 grams of creatine per day, that's completely fine. Maybe it upsets your stomach, maybe you feel dehydrated. You don't have to do this. You can get to the same place by taking 3 to 5 grams of creatine per day. It's just going to take you a little bit longer to fully saturate the muscles, maybe 3 to 4 weeks longer, but that's completely fine. A very common myth is that creatine is going to become less effective the longer that you use it, but this is false. 3 to 5 grams of creatine per day is more than enough to keep your muscles saturated, and you can do this year round. So when should you take it? Well, look at it this way. All of the studies suggest that taking it before the workout or after the workout is going to be the most effective, but there's no proof that say that one is better than the other. So it really doesn't matter. As long as you're centering the creatine intake around your workout, that's when it's going to be the most effective. As far as your rest days or the days that you're not training, just take it whenever it's convenient for you. The idea behind those days is to keep your muscles saturated so you can use that creatine for your next training day. So it really doesn't matter. And what type of creatine should you take? Well, look at it this way. The most studied form of creatine is going to be creatine monohydrate. So most of the information that you're going to get on the internet is going to be based around this type of creatine. And given the fact that it's both safe and very effective, this would be the kind of creatine that I would recommend. Another common creatine that people take is creatine ethyl ester. Now, there have been a lot of studies that suggest that creatine ethyl ester absorbs better and absorbs faster, and this could be true, but the majority of the studies still say that creatine monohydrate is going to create more muscle growth. So in my opinion, this is the one I would still stick with. Now, one thing to note, if you have any health conditions, I would recommend talking to a doctor before you take any creatine. Actually, I would recommend talking to a doctor before you start anything, including a diet plan, because it's basically going to be based around your specific conditions. It's important to understand that a lot of the information that you're going to get on YouTube is general guidance for the majority of people. Now, it's not usually going to cover the specific individual with health conditions unless that's what the channel is about. Creatine monohydrates have been studied a lot, with over 600 studies specific to creatine monohydrate, including how safe it is. And there's no real evidence that suggests any kind of harm to your kidneys or anything else for the healthy individual. Now, taking creatine can cause dehydration, and extensive dehydration can cause kidney damage, but that's only if you're doing it wrong. So just like anything in life, if you do it wrong, it could cause some issues. That's why it's important, if you're taking creatine, to drink extra water. Drink an extra 16 or so ounces every single day on top of what you're already drinking if you decide to take creatine. Creatine can also make you feel more bloated for the fact that you're retaining more water. So if this is something that you're not comfortable with, then just don't take creatine. Creatine can make you look a little bit more bloated at times, and it also fills out your muscles, and not everybody is going for that look, so that's up to you. And another thing to keep in mind, that creatine will never beat out a healthy diet. If you're eating a healthy diet with whole nutrient dense foods with the right amount of macro and the right amount of micronutrients, then this alone can get you incredible results in the gym or whatever your goal is. Creatine can be a good thing to add into your routine if you're looking to push your workouts a little bit further, but it's definitely not needed. So I wouldn't recommend supplementing with creatine to make up for a lack of effort in the gym or a poor diet. Creatine is going to maximize your effort. So if you're not putting in any effort, then there's nothing to maximize. I personally take creatine to increase size and strength, but that's my goal, and everybody is different. But that's because I have a clean diet most of the time, and I also put in the time and the effort in the gym when I'm there. So to sum this up, whether you're looking for size and strength or even to increase your endurance, creatine can definitely help during your workouts. If you're looking to take creatine, start with the loading phase for the first 5 to 7 days at 20 grams per day, and then move on to 3 to 5 grams after that per day and continue on. My recommendation on the kind of creatine to take is creatine monohydrate, because it is the most effective, it is safe, and it is the most studied, but you can also take creatine ethyl ester if you want to switch it up. Taking creatine around your workouts is going to be the most effective, and on rest days, just take it when it's most convenient. And most importantly, if you have any health conditions, make sure you talk to a doctor before you supplement with creatine. Alright guys, that is it for the video. If this video brought value to you, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel. I do appreciate your support. Check out those ebooks that I have linked down below. And if you're looking to do any home workouts, I have all of the equipment that I use every single day to stay in shape linked down below as well. If you have any questions, put it in the comment section, and I will see you guys on the next video.